Chica, the flood control channel doesn't go directly into the ocean. It curves and flows into the wetlands. The reason for that is because the wetland acts like a sponge, so that on their very heavy rainy days, the water goes into the wetland rather than being pushed back as a result of high tides, for example, and flooding the homes around the area there. Coastal wetlands act as nurseries for our fisheries off coast. For example, California halibut use wetlands such as Bolsa Chica to raise their young. They spawn off the coast, but then the young come into the wetlands and are raised and grow up there and then go back out.
In a way similar to the salmon in the American River or something like that.
Very similar, yeah. Very similar. So, and were not for the coastal wetlands up and down our coast, like Bolsa Chica, there'd be no halibut.
So if you like to eat halibut, be glad it's there.
Right, yeah. And of course, the Bolsa Chica is also a great place just to visit.
So if somebody, say they live in Hermosa Beach and work in Santa Ana, you would say they should definitely get off the freeway and come and take a look at it.
Absolutely.
Was there a moment at which you had an epiphany and you knew that you wanted to be of service? It doesn't need to be a Saul on the road to Damascus moment, but something.
No, I was kind of eased into it. When we first moved here, as I mentioned it, I had almost never had been involved in any kind of social relationships with organizations. When we first moved here, there was plans for putting a nuclear plant right off the coast on an island. And Margaret belonged to the EUW and the League of Women Voters, which she probably told you. And they got involved in studying that, and I sort of got sucked into that. And that was probably the very first social issue that I became involved in, but not very deeply, just sort of on the periphery. But then when the Amigos came along, then I really got deeply involved in it. So it was a gradual.
Either speak to both of them together or individually. Why should these two hypothetical viewers want to be of service to something outside themselves?
Well, first of all, I don't think it makes any difference what your social level is or your economic level is. I think that social service is something that we all have to do. The things don't get done by themselves. And if the person who is in the lower economic level there can manage the time to volunteer at the church or wherever, I think that that's one more star in the sky that makes all of us better.
Either or both of them, what could they expect to get out of being of service to something like Amigos de Bolsa Chica or at the soup kitchen or whatever they decide to serve?
Well, there's when Jerry Brown first ran for governor, he used to refer to psychic income. And I think that term is still valid, that you do get a charge, you do get a little tickle when you know that you're doing something that will better our environment, better our social fabric in the community.
Can you describe your own experience of your own psychic income?
Well, seeing what the Amigos has accomplished, for example, over the 30 years that we've been in existence. I mean, I just, when I walk out across the bridge there at Bolsa Chica and see what we accomplished, that this could have been another marina, this could have been another
housing development.
Yes. I get a tickle down my spine.
One of our viewers is motivated by what you just said. But they're a little cautious, they're a little shy. They'd like to take on something that's not a big commitment. They don't want to make a 30-year commitment to Amigos de Bolsa Chica. What can they do to get their toesies wet? Can you suggest one or a few activities that might be appropriate beginners service projects?
Well, sure. I mean, there are lots of things that are going on around the city. There are days, for example, Earth Day or...
what is Earth Day?
Earth Day is a celebration that occurs, I think, in April. It's a national not exactly a holiday, but it's a national celebration of the environmental movement. And so we set up booths, for example, along the coast. We ask for volunteers to man the booths. People don't have to spend a lot of time there just helping out, maybe just setting up. It doesn't have to be a long commitment. There are other organizations that do the same. If you just pick up the phone, there's a organization in the county, I can't remember the name of it now, but I'm sure that you find it in the Yellow Pages, that coordinates a number of organizations that ask for that need volunteers. And it's very easy to find positions.
Volunteers of America?
Well, that might be one of them, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a number of them. That's just the one that came to my
Sure,
mind.
yeah.
Anything in particular, any other organizations that they might refer to that would be close to your heart, or that you could suggest might be close to the viewer's heart?
Oh, well, there's so many environmental organizations that are doing good. There's the Surfrider Foundation, there's the Sierra Club, there's the Bolsa Chica Land Trust, there's the Bolsa Chica Conservancy, there's the Huntington Beach Conservancy, there's the Cerritos Land Trust. There are just a long list of environmental organizations that are doing good.
If I could give you an ironclad guarantee of success, 100%, no chance of failure, for your next project, what would you attempt?
A interpretive center, permanent interpretive center for Bolsa Chica.
And what does interpretive center mean?
Well, it means like a museum in which you have displays giving the public information about the history and the biology and the chemistry of the Bolsa Chica wetland.
Who are your heroes?
Most of my heroes are involved with movies, directors like Steven Spielberg and Martin Scorsese and David Lean, characters like that.
Why is environmental protection so important to you?
Well, we live in an environment that is becoming more crowded, and as a result, the natural resources, air and water, are becoming attacked to the extent that we may run out of those in a very short period of time. But there's also the beauty of environments as well, such as Bolsa Chica. I keep bringing that up. If we destroy the environment, of course we're destroying ourselves, because we depend on the environment.
Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me.
Oh, my pleasure.